Hello all, I'm Carrie and welcome to my channel. I recently went to the St. Louis Zoo with my friend Erin to meet up with other members of the St. Louis Historical Sewing Society. Here we are asking for directions to the birdhouse to find the rest of our flock. They were the wrong directions, like the opposite direction to where we wanted to go. However, we walked by a school group and one girl asked us if we were princesses and if Erin's hair was real. Well, it's not imaginary. Vaccinated historical costumers are not exactly like cicadas emerging after a 17-year quarantine in the ground, but we are definitely looking around for outdoor gatherings and even indoor gatherings with friends who are also vaccinated. Thank you, science, for enabling us to cautiously get together again in our costumes we work so hard to create. Many of us costume for the gatherings and the people, some just for the sewing process, and like me, many for both of these joyful things. I made us late to the zoo because I got up late and did not have all the stuff I needed for the day ready to go, and we have a 2.5-hour drive to St. Louis. Then parking was an ordeal. Sigh. This is often the way when most of the events we attend are in Missouri, Kentucky, or somewhere else in Indiana. But the travel is worth it. I recommend getting everything you can ready to go the night before and getting on the road a bit earlier than you think you need to, especially if, like me, you put your gown on once you get to the location, like in a parking lot. I put my shift and stays or corset on, as well as fix my hair before the drive. One reason I chose this 1790s outfit is because I just have to pop on the petticoat dress and sleeveless spencer. When I wear my 1870s to sew gown, I have 7 items of clothing to put on over my corset once reaching our destination. Our friends were already in the indoor penguin exhibit by the time we found Juanita. Doesn't she look gorgeous in her silk Regency gown? We decided to stop chasing and wait for the rest of the group to emerge. When you dress in a historical costume in public, be prepared for people to ask to take photos of you or with you. Also, fans are a must, especially after speed walking to find your group. This costuming society was started a few years ago by my friend Christine, or Sostine, and Sarah, who you'll see in this video wearing a gorgeous 18th century golden Italian gown with a blue petticoat. I joined the group in 2019 and went to my first event that April. Some of these ladies are now some of my dearest friends, and I'm so excited for more events so I can get to know all of the members better. In 2019, we had a picnic and visited the St. Louis Art Museum, went to the opera and the botanical gardens, had a few sewing days, and a Française dinner. Things slowed down in 2020 with the pandemic, of course. We did have Zoom sewing chats and a few silhouette parties and a socially distanced trip to a cemetery, but this trip to the zoo was our first big in-person gathering in over a year. Many of us are huggers and the pandemic has been rough. So finally seeing our group appear was quite emotional, and being vaccinated gave us the confidence to hug without fear of infecting our beloved friends. I wanted to hug everyone but felt awkward with all my stuff. Why didn't I put my parasol in my basket? Christine is great at keeping us on schedule, and off we went to our next activity. With a large group, you really need someone who keeps track of time if you have things like lunch reservations, which we did. Waiting in line for a carousel ride gave us a chance to chat and catch up. It is so important to have spurts of downtime to actually talk with friends, old and new. I have no idea what I am jabbering about here. I don't costume in public alone. I admire intrepid costuming adventurers who do, but I'm a bit introverted and risk-averse, so it is not fun for me to go to some place in costume by myself. It turns out that you can only ride on creatures with orange tape to ensure social distancing, and we could not ride side saddle. I get it, safety first, although I was concerned about the zoo employee wearing a parka in 75-degree weather. Maybe they just ran cold. Also, historical underwear or lack thereof is a little bit awkward, riding astride even a penguin here. And away we go. I now feel guilty for not letting a woman get a selfie with me when I was dashing to keep up with my group in the carousel line. She had asked nicely after running towards me, and I think I was just alarmed and wanted to get away. And I'm annoyed at myself for feeling guilty. If you don't want a picture with someone, you don't have to do it. But be prepared for people to take pictures of you without asking. Erin and I recently had people take photos of us from their truck, which they stopped in the middle of an intersection when we were on the sidewalk in our Italian gowns. Drive-by photos. In my experience, a lot of people do ask nicely, and I usually oblige unless they are jerks about it. You don't owe anyone anything just because you are in costume. I kept imagining the Carousel horses and Mary Poppins and what it would feel like if my penguin took off like that. I think it would be fine as long as the others joined me. Polar bears are not social, but historical costumers can be, at least with each other. I tend to not make eye contact with strangers unless they come up and say something. I'm here to be with my friends and see their gorgeous costumes while in my own costume, and talk about costumes. Time for a group shot in the cypress swamp. It can be difficult to get the whole group to smile at once, but don't we look grand with our reflection in the water? The birds in this exhibit were beautiful and noisy, the little fluffy dinosaurs. Our second group shot was up close, and someone was either taking off or trying to put on their mask in all the shots. Yes, it me. Also, if more than one person is taking the photos, not everyone will be looking in the same direction. Just keep that in mind. I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of time talking to the animals, whether in the zoo or in nature. You'll also hear a lot of historical dress misconceptions when you're out in public in costume. Unless I'm in a teaching situation, like giving a talk at a history museum, I usually ignore it. The teacher in me wants to spread accurate information, but that's what YouTube is for, right? Unless I get asked a direct question like, can you breathe in your corset? Yes. You'll notice I've carried around this basket the entire time. I recommend bringing a drink, snacks, always a fan, and a bonnet or parasol to protect you from the sun if outdoors. I myself am a petulant jerk when really hungry or thirsty, so I bring these things for my own sake as well as for those around me. Here's where we decided to take individual shots. Every costumer deserves to have nice photos of them and their gorgeous work. I've attended many events where I forgot completely to get a single photo and regret it later. I'm very lucky my husband is really into photography and videography. Bonnets and parasols do shade the face, which is why so many of the photos that I take and that I orchestrate show my face as, you know, kind of dark in comparison to what it is normally, but that's okay because I need to protect my face from the sun. Also, I do not enjoy Photoshop. I never have, and I don't think I ever will. So it's worth a lot to me to have somebody else deal with that. But aren't my friends all so lovely in their different eras? We as a group tend to have events where you can wear whatever era you want. We do have some themed events like 18th century or Victorian, but most of our events are open to costumes of any era. Erin wanted to go to the birdhouse before we left the zoo and met the group for lunch, so we parted ways to visit the burbs. Erin has a few rescue birds at home, and I live down the street from a raptor rescue and teach some aspects of bird evolution in my historical geology class. Birds are important, and not just because they are living relatives of dinosaurs. When you only wear long dresses for historical costuming purposes. People left us alone in the hot and humid birdhouse, which was not nearly as crowded, but I do want to talk about what you can expect in costume in public besides people asking to take pictures. Lots of stares, compliments, and lots of questions. Like, do you work here? Did you make your dress? Oh, you are so talented. Well, more like hardworking and perseverant, but thanks. Are you in a Renaissance fair? Even if your costume is from a completely different era. Is there a play going on or something? Are you hot in all those clothes? Are you Amish? Are you in a cult? Can I touch this or that aspect of your costume? Or spectators sometimes skip that question and just touch you. And you should never hesitate to say no if you are uncomfortable. Being touched without your permission, that is the world! You are dressing up for you, not them. If you've costumed in public, I'd love to hear about your positive and negative interactions with spectators in the comments below. I think this is an important discussion to have. And would I be me if I didn't at least try to find some rocks everywhere I go? Next was lunch, and we were late, so there were lots of hungry costumers when we arrived at our private room at the restaurant. But I had a birthday surprise for Christine. This dear lady has encouraged and helped me so much in my costuming and this YouTube thing, and I've racked my brain trying to think what I could do or get for her, then decided to commission my sister to paint her in one of her costumes, art inspired by art. Our group often takes time to plan future events while at events. It is so nice to do so in person rather than via social media. After lingering over a long and chatty lunch, it was time to go, although Erin and I decided to visit IKEA on our way home, which was not crowded at all, thank goodness. You can do pretty much anything in historical clothing, and that definitely includes shopping. And we visited some plushy, non-avian dinosaurs.
Oh, did you see the Brontosaurus? Do they wear their neckties here or here? Theme? Oh, I was dying.
And we ended up buying duvet covers and curtains in the as-is section, not to use as bedding or window treatments, of course, but to turn into costumes. Because, you know, we needed more fabric, and neither of us have huge dragon hoard piles of fabric at home. Nope, not at all. Thanks so much to my husband Glenn for taking photos and video of this lovely day. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments and subscribe. Thank you.